is Giants-Chargers, because the New York Giants are sending Russell Wilson to the bench, and they are starting first-round rookie Jaxson Dart after starting this season 0-3. His first start comes at home against the Chargers' ferocious defense. And as soon as this was announced yesterday, our buddy Joe Fortenbaugh, who is our betting expert, sent me these stats. If anyone loves facing a rookie quarterback, it is Jim Harbaugh. In his career in the NFL, he is 8-2 when facing rookies, 4-0 with the Chargers. Wow. He's 7-3 in those 10 games against the spread. So for what it is worth, ESPN Bet has the Chargers favored by 6.5. Joe sent me a text yesterday in capital letters that said, "Give the points." So we'll see what winds up happening. Kmart, as I asked you to tell me what happened this week, you said it didn't begin this week. We have to go back to August.
Well, just to get a sense of what the plan may have been for the Giants, you know, during training camp, getting a sense of what that QB room was like. It was like, oh, they're all great. They all love each other. But Jaxson Dart, he was everything we thought. You know, the Giants were very high on him. Guys, teammates gravitate towards him. You know, the sense that even though it was still training camp and preseason, it felt like the lights wouldn't be too bright for him. But the sense I got then, guys, was that, you know, we love him, but hopefully we won't need to turn to him quickly, because that means we're playing well. Well, as you can see, the Giants have not been playing well, so the plan changes. Now, internally, they made this move. They're excited about the kid. I can tell you from talking to people outside in NFL circles that they're looking at this somewhat skeptical, kind of saying, well, this is a head coach pulling his last lever. Like, this is his best case scenario. If he's going to get fired, he's going to go down with the young quarterback. But Brian Daboll has an opportunity. This is the quarterback he picked in the draft, and he has a chance to run this offense with a younger, more athletic quarterback. So we'll see what the Giants can do.
You are making a lot of noises behind me that sound skeptical. What are those supposed to mean?
I mean, and it's nothing against Jaxson Dart. He's a talented guy, and I'm wishing him the best. But, like, the history of this organization has been kind of poorly run, and it feels like just reactionary all the time. At one point, I'd love for them to bring in a staff and a coach and a quarterback and have a plan. It just feels like it's always reacting to the worst thing that happened before. And it's not like they haven't had good players. And that's the hard part, is that you find guys that have been there who don't have much success go have success elsewhere. It feels like it's more about the Giants than it is about anyone else. And I guess I'm a bit concerned for Jaxson Dart being dropped into this tough situation. I don't have great expectations for him. And again, it's not because of him, as we watch Daniel Jones succeed with the Colts.
Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley are 6-0, while the Giants are now turning to the rookie. So, Jeff, Saturday, I made a list yesterday. I did an hour in New York radio with my buddy Alan Hahn and his show. And I made a list of 4 reasons why you might do this, without my giving you my opinion. Why do you think this?
Desperation. This is a desperation move. Like, Brian Daboll is trying to save his job. Like, you're hoping that Jaxson Dart comes in and you win 6 games. But he plays well, Scattaboo plays well, Tracy plays well, Neighbors plays well, and you're hoping offensively you give some sort of semblance that we're moving in the right direction. Look, John, you know, Mara, I can do this, right? Because the reality is you were brought in, and the whole my guy thing, right? Like, when coaches, it drives me nuts, right? When he took the job, Daniel Jones was a quarterback.
Yes.
That's your guy, right? Okay, so he wasn't good enough. And then, so we're going to move on from him. And then, you know, Russ is not good enough. So we're going to move on from him. So now it's finally my guy. Well, if you were the QB guru, we haven't had much success to show for this. And I feel like, and I tried to make this point yesterday, it's always someone else's fault. And I'm a bit biased, and I'm going to be real. You know, when you watch the behind the scenes with the Saquon move and the whole way it played out, the arrogance that came off on that show, in my opinion, the way that I read it, I was not a fan of, right? I don't care how good a coach you think you are, players matter. And them dudes are who wins games. You've never walked out of those white lines, bro. The 11 that are walking out, they are the ones who have to play well, and you have to get them ready to go play the fastest, freest way they can. And that has not happened for that organization since Daniel Jones took them to the playoffs, right? And that was, however many years ago, and it's a struggle for me.
Also, last weekend was a bit of a reminder that everybody in the NFL is good, or at least talented.
For sure.
So, like, when you go on long losing streaks, it's not like a college team where some guys don't belong out there. There are some teams that are just overmatched. In the NFL, every team can be competitive.
That's right.
And the idea that we don't got the right players, like, okay, maybe you don't got the right players to be a championship contender, but to be a respectable, competitive organization,
that's right,
which the Giants haven't been consistently, that's the expectation.
Right.
It's only 32 teams.
That's a great point.
And if you stink, they give you the number one overall draft pick every year. So figure it out.
I agree with you completely. I call it the hamster wheel theory, right? Have you ever seen a hamster running as fast as he can and not getting anywhere? That happens in the NFL when the two most important people in the organization, which are the coach and the quarterback, are not married up in terms of timeline.
Right.
And it is a mistake that we see teams make every year, and it's so preventable. They did it in Chicago 3 times. It destroyed Mitch Trubisky. It destroyed Justin Fields. And we're hoping now that they can pull Caleb Williams back from the abyss. But he looked like he was in trouble there for a moment. He was on the precipice. Marry up the coach and the quarterback in terms of timeline.
Right.
Do not have a coach who is desperately trying to save his own job.
Right.
Coaching a quarterback who you need to develop at whatever pace he needs to be developed. That is a recipe for failure. It's one of the controllable things, right? There are some things in life you can't control.
Right.
But if you own an NFL franchise, you run an NFL franchise, that's something you can control.
100%.
And teams continuously get it wrong, and it infuriates.
And can I say this? The way that you help quarterbacks in our game is have a protection plan, have a way of making his job easier, whether it's through the run game, whether it's in the protection. Jim Harbaugh is a great example of that. He's got Justin Herbert, who has all the talent in the world. But guess what? He's going to go get big dudes, and he's going to put together 7-man pros so that Justin Herbert isn't running for his life all the time. It's like all these guys think they can out-scheme. Those defensive coordinators are really freaking smart. And guess what? Those guys on defense are really athletic, much more athletic than we are on the other side. So it can't just be scheme. There has to be a thoughtful process about developing quarterbacks. And the first thing is protection. And you're seeing it in Chicago. He's trying to help Caleb Williams figure out process and protection.
So the development of the quarterback has to be central to everything. But to your point, when things don't align, you see organizations change the timeline. We look at whether it be Cowboys, whether you look at some of the poorly run organizations, it's sort of like, when did the plan change? And now the plan that you had a year ago doesn't make sense with the personnel you have now. I just think it sounds like people are piling on Jaxson Dart. I think the audience, no. I'm making it clear that that's not the issue.
Right.
The issue is if he was ready to play in the NFL, the question is, well, why wasn't he the starter in week 1?
There are 4 reasons why you make this change now. One of them is the quarterback this is exactly the moment in time in which he is ready. Raise your hand if you think that's why this is being done, right? I mean, no one is raising their hand. Yeah. So the other 3 are all impatience. Is it the owner who's impatient? Are you reacting to the fan base that's impatient? Or is it because the locker room is impatient? You guys put that in my head yesterday. And that's the one that actually would make some sense to me, is if the coaching staff believed the locker room, after what happened down by the goal line last week, was something they could not come back from, and they were going to lose the locker room.
Careers are short and opportunities are fleeting, and the quarterback is the most important person, I'm sure, on the team. And I'm sure that all of us have experiences where you go to a situation and it's not because of you that you don't have success. I think that if the quarterback plays well, everyone else looks better. So when guys are looking at the quarterback and don't have confidence, it makes it really hard to come to work and do the extra work.
Yeah.
I wanted to get the Russell Wilson side of this in here. This conversation was too good. We'll come back to it, though, because there's another side of this. We may have seen the last of a genuinely great player. We have to talk a lot about Russell Wilson. But first, the matchups that we are looking forward to in the NFL and what we're looking for. Dominique, Packers, Cowboys, Sunday night. What are you watching?
Oh, Micah Parsons is going to make a statement. I know he's downplaying it, acting like it's just another one of those games. But no, he's going back to Dallas to show Jerry what he's missing out on. Sure. And the way that Cowboys team has been playing right now. We're going to get some memes on Sunday night.
we got a lot on that game coming. There's a very interesting NFC matchup this weekend. Kmart, what are we watching? Eagles, Bucks.
This right here, Mike Evans. What will this Bucks offense look like without him? Like, he has had sort of lower leg injuries before. I think anything that derails the Bucks every year, it seems like injuries. That's the thing. And they've won all their games, but very close margins. So I'm looking to see how they handle the Eagles down a guy.
And you see this Eagles defense, which has had its moments, but generally hasn't been what it was a year ago. And then we, of course, have Ravens-Chiefs, a battle of 1 and 2 teams. Jeff, what are you watching
I'm looking for these turnovers against the Spags run defense with the Chiefs. That's what's going to keep them in the game. And you've seen Derrick Henry, unfortunately, has fumbled 2 in the fourth quarter, which are devastating. But Spags has made it difficult for this Ravens offense in the past. But this Ravens offense has been really good this season, and so this is the key to the game. Are those two units and how they play against each other? They're going to have to find a way to get some points against the Chiefs.
So those are some of the most interesting matchups of the weekend. But maybe all of a sudden, the most interesting